And viewers, we to snap out of those uncuts coming in, the biggest breaking news, in fact, coming in since this conflict started. Iranian state media has now confirmed that Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has been killed or has been martyred, according to Iranian state media's terms, in Israeli and US strikes on capital Tehran. That's right, big news coming in at this point of time from Iran's capital Tehran, where Iranian state media, including the likes of Press TV, have in fact confirmed on social media platform X that Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, his daughter, his son-in-law and his granddaughter, all of them have in fact been killed in the joint US-Israeli strikes on capital Tehran. My colleague Vishal Vivek joins us for latest on this big breaking update coming in from Tehran. Vishal, the most massive update coming in. What lies ahead for Tehran, and is there and who takes Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's position now in these testing times?
Well, Arjun, this is indeed the most significant day in Middle East's history in the last few decades, at least. We can safely say that ever since the Sykes-Picot lines were drawn, Sykes-Picot maps were drawn to, divide the Middle East into separate countries, this is indeed the most significant moment in the history of Middle East. The fact that one of the most powerful people in the Middle East has been, killed overnight in just one day of operation goes to show the level of depth that Iran and US have in their operations, and the fact that IRGC was not really able to stave off this attack and was not able to, save Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. What comes next? That's the biggest question. To understand this, you have to understand that the Iranian regime was not really shaped like a pyramid. It was more sort of like thousands of pillars supporting one regime. So who comes next is the biggest question. There's of course the son of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei that seems to have been modeled into the next leader of the Iranian regime. He might take over, or some IRGC officials might take over, because Khamenei had distributed power among the IRGC officials quite equally. So there was no resentment among IRGC officials to give off the power that they have. So it will have to be seen if the IRGC is able to, if the US and Israeli regimes are able to, convince the IRGC to give off their powers and, let the people take over the Iranian regime, because that's what both Netanyahu and Trump want, that the people of Iran, they take over the Iranian government, and people have been protesting. Thousands of people have been killed in these protests in the last 2 months. So we'll have to wait for what the people do, what the people of Iran do right now.
Vishal, very importantly, this announcement from the Iranian state media comes hours after Donald Trump, in fact, posted on his Truth Social and confirmed that Khamenei has been killed. So was the regime just buying time to figure out who will succeed Khamenei and to sort of get their house in order and then make this announcement?
Well, that seems to be the case, Arjun, because if you suddenly announce that the most powerful person in the regime has been killed, it could, spew chaos. It could, sow seeds of doubt across the regime, because that's not what IRGC would want. IRGC, we can safely say, would be running the country right now as we speak. But that also depends, because many top-level officers of IRGC have also been killed. The defense minister of Iran was also killed yesterday. So you can say the top echelons, many people have been killed. The top leader has been killed. So now it's on the people, if they take to the streets. Reza Pahlavi, the leader that wants to come in and take over, he has already given out his plans to Washington Post, that what he wants to do if he is asked to come in by the people of Iran. So all eyes will be on Reza Pahlavi, what he does when he comes in.
That's right, Vishal. But speaking of Iran, speaking of the IRGC, who is likely to be at the helm of the affairs in these testing times for the regime? Will it be Khamenei's younger son or his elder son? Is there anything that you're picking up on that front?
Arjun, what we've heard in the last few weeks of reports by the US media is that Ali Larijani, the Supreme National Security Council's head, he was the most powerful person after Khamenei, because Khamenei had not really given the power to Pezeshkian or his foreign minister to run the country. Even the defense minister did not yield that kind of power. Ali Larijani was the person who was given the biggest, mantle of power to run the country. He was calling the shots. What is his status will also determine which direction Iran takes right now, because he was the one running the country, as I mentioned. So his health, his whereabouts will be looked after whatever US does right now. It will definitely be targeting Ali Larijani, because that's the most powerful person remaining in the Iranian regime right now.
And what, according to you, Vishal, will now be the approach taken by the US and Israel both? Do we now expect the war to subside? Do we now expect hostilities to subside? And of course, the allies to double down on their offer to IRGC members and other militia also to lay down their arms and get total immunity?
That would be the aim, Arjun, but we've heard in the last few hours that US and Israel have already started their second wave of attacks on the western and southern part of Iran. Many areas have been attacked. So what they do right now will be, watched closely. They want to finish off whatever is left in the stockpile of Iranian regime. You remember, Iranian regime has thousands and thousands of ballistic missiles, which are already doing a lot of damage to many countries across the Middle East, be it Dubai, be it Bahrain, Kuwait. It has been able to penetrate the skies of many of these countries. So the US regime would want the remaining stockpile of the Iranian regime to be finished. The launch pads should be damaged. That's what the aim would be right now. The fact that it has already, decapitated the biggest name in the Iranian regime, that would come as the biggest relief for the US and the Israeli regime. So we'll have to wait as to who takes over from the IRGC side. As I already mentioned, Ali Larijani will be running the affairs right now, but IRGC will play a huge role. IRGC's top guy was also assassinated yesterday. So who comes next? There are at least 4 lines of successions that Khamenei had.
Of course, Vishal, there's Mustafa Khamenei, Khamenei's eldest son. There's Mojtaba Khamenei, his younger son. There's also Ali Larijani, as you were mentioning. But we've got more breaking news coming in, Vishal. An official 40-day mourning period has been announced across Iran.